caught my wife saying, "I need more than just him," when she thought I wasn't listening. That evening, she casually suggested an open marriage, expecting me to beg her to stay. I smirked and said, "Great idea." The next morning, she discovered her bank accounts were drained, her car was gone, and I was partying in Bora Bora without a care. I'm a 42-year-old man living in the United States. My wife and I had been married for 15 years, and I believed we had a solid relationship. We met during our college years, built a life together, and raised 2 children. I worked as an IT consultant, and she was a dedicated teacher. One evening, I came home earlier than usual. As I entered the house, I heard my wife on the phone, unaware of my presence. Her words pierced through me. "I need more than just him." She laughed, a sound that now felt foreign and cold. I stood frozen, my heart pounding. I quietly backed out of the house, my mind racing. Was she talking about me? Who was on the other end of the line? I decided not to confront her immediately. Instead, I needed to gather my thoughts and understand what was happening. That evening, she approached me with a casual demeanor. "I've been thinking," she began. "Maybe we should consider an open marriage." I looked at her, trying to mask my shock. "An open marriage?" "Yes," she replied. "It could bring excitement back into our lives. We've been together for so long, perhaps exploring connections with others could strengthen our bond." I took a deep breath, recalling her earlier conversation. "Great idea," I said with a smirk. She seemed surprised by my agreement, but quickly masked it with enthusiasm. "I'm glad you're open to it," she said. That night I couldn't sleep. I felt betrayed, but I also saw an opportunity. I decided to take control of the situation. First, I consulted with a lawyer friend about the legal implications of our assets and the concept of an open marriage in the United States. He advised me on the steps to protect myself financially. Next, I discreetly transferred funds from our joint accounts into my personal account. I ensured that all transactions were legal and documented. I also arranged for the sale of our second car, which was under my name. The proceeds went into my account. Finally, I booked a trip to Bora Bora, a destination we had always dreamed of visiting together. I used the funds to secure a luxury resort and planned to leave the next morning. The next morning, I left a note on the kitchen table. "You wanted an open marriage. I'm opening a new chapter. Enjoy your freedom." I turned off my phone and headed to the airport. As the plane took off, I felt a mix of sadness, relief, and anticipation. In Bora Bora, I immersed myself in the serene beauty of the island. I met new people, engaged in activities I had never tried before, and began to rediscover myself. Back home, my wife was frantic. She couldn't access our joint accounts, the car was gone, and I was unreachable. She contacted my family and friends, but no one knew where I was. After a week, I sent her an email. "I needed more than just you. Take care." It's been 6 months since that day. I've settled in a new city, started a new job, and am focusing on personal growth. The pain of betrayal still lingers, but I'm healing. I thought I was done with her. Thought I could leave, disappear, and let her deal with the mess she started. But trouble doesn't always stay where you leave it. It finds ways to follow you. 3 weeks after I landed in Bora Bora, just as I was starting to feel human again, I got an email from a name I hadn't seen in years, Maggie, her younger sister. I almost didn't open it. But curiosity is a nasty thing. You might think you're done with her. But she's not done with you. Call me. Urgent. That's all it said. No. Hi. No. Hope you're doing well. Just straight to the point. I ignored it. 2 days later, another email came. She filed a police report. Claims you stole money. Says you emptied the accounts behind her back and disappeared with community property. She's telling people you went crazy. This time, I sat down. I hadn't thought about how far she'd go. Sure, I transferred the money, but all of it was legally accessible to me. Nothing sneaky. No hacks. Just smart moves. The car? It was mine. Paid under my name. Insurance under me. But the story she was spinning back home, that was the part one didn't prepare for. A mutual friend, Jason, messaged me on Facebook 2 nights later. "Hey man, are you okay? She's telling people you had a breakdown. That you vanished with all the money. Said you were having some midlife crisis." I didn't even know what to respond. Midlife crisis? Sure. If waking up to betrayal and deciding you don't want to be someone's backup plan is a crisis, then yeah, maybe I was in one. The twist came a week later. I got a message from my bank. My personal account was frozen. Somehow, she'd convinced her lawyer to get a temporary freeze while they investigated the transfer of funds. Claimed I moved money without consent. That I was planning to leave her destitute. All my careful planning, and she still found a crack to slip through. I had a good lawyer back in the States, but he wasn't expecting this level of petty warfare. We had to start gathering every record, every email, every statement showing the money was accessible to me. Joint accounts. No hidden tricks. Meanwhile, she was telling anyone who listened that I abandoned our family. She even went on local radio. Local radio. Tears in her voice. Playing the victim. Saying things like, "He left us. Just got on a plane one day and never came back. I never saw it coming." Then came the real punch. My son, my own damn son, messaged me. "Dad, why'd you leave like that? She's been crying every day. She said you didn't even say goodbye." I stared at the screen for 10 minutes. My hands were shaking. I had left that note. Cold, maybe. But honest. And yeah, I left. I didn't tell them why, because I didn't want them caught in the middle. I thought I was protecting them. Turns out silence just gave her room to rewrite everything. Now I'm stuck fighting 2 wars. One in court, to unfreeze my money and keep my name clean. And one in the hearts of the people I love, who think I turned into some villain. She's painting a picture I don't even recognize. And the worst part? She's good at it. This woman, she isn't just cheating with another man. She's cheating reality itself. I didn't plan on going back to the States anytime soon. But now, I might not have a choice. If I let this go, she wins everything. Not just the narrative. Not just the money. She wins the kids. She wins the past. She wins the story. And I'll be nothing but the crazy dad who ran off. I'm not letting that happen. Next flight back is tomorrow night. It's time to show her what truth looks like. I landed in LAX under a fake name. Not because I did anything illegal, but because I knew if she found out I was back, she'd find a way to twist it into something else. He's stalking me now. Maybe. He's unstable. I've seen what she's capable of. My lawyer met me at the airport. He looked tired, like he'd been pulling double shifts trying to keep my name clean. Her new lawyer's aggressive, he said as we sat down for coffee. She's got affidavits from her coworkers saying you were emotionally distant. Said you were controlling. She's building a case. But that's not even close to true, I said. He gave me a look that told me truth doesn't matter much when people are already believing lies. She's also claiming there was physical abuse, he added. That hit me like a brick to the chest. What? Just verbal, according to her. Said you threw things during arguments. That you yelled in ways that made her and the kids afraid. I sat back in my chair staring at nothing. This was beyond character assassination. This was full-blown fabrication. I never even raised my voice at her. Not once in 15 years. I was always the calm one. The patient one. But again, the truth doesn't stand a chance when you've got a charming voice, a couple of tears, and people willing to believe the worst. Later that night, I drove by the house. Not close enough to be noticed, just far enough to sit in my car and look through the windshield. Her new boyfriend's car was parked in the driveway. Black Dodge Charger. Plates I didn't recognize. So that's him, huh? I sat there watching as the front door opened, She came out with 2 wine glasses in hand, handed one to him, and they laughed about something. Then my daughter walked out behind them. They were all sitting on the porch together. Like a family. I gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. She replaced me. Fast. And now she was trying to erase me too. The next morning, I got a call from my lawyer. You need to hear this. We have a problem. I walked into his office and he played a voicemail he'd received. It was from an anonymous number. Your client isn't who he says he is. There's more to this story. Ask him about May 17th, 2 years ago. Ask him what happened in Florida. My blood ran cold. May 17th? Florida? Then it clicked. 2 years ago, I'd gone on a solo work trip to Miami. Stayed in a hotel downtown. Had a rough few days. Had one too many drinks at a bar. Ended up talking to a woman. We shared a kiss. Nothing more. I left that night with guilt heavier than lead. I never told anyone. It never went anywhere. No numbers exchanged. No names even. But somehow, she knew. Somehow she found out. And now she was using it. Do you think she had you followed? My lawyer asked. Back then? I don't think so, I said, still stunned. But maybe she went through my old emails. My calendar. Something. And then a horrifying possibility hit me. What if she already knew, and that's why she started pulling away? My mind started spinning. What if I had been the first domino? I drove back to my hotel room and sat on the edge of the bed. The truth was murkier than I'd wanted to admit. I wasn't perfect. I did make a mistake. But it wasn't a betrayal, it was a moment of weakness. A moment I regretted the second it happened. Still, maybe she used that to justify everything else she was doing now. She twisted it into her narrative. See? He cheated first. I had no choice. I was already emotionally abandoned. She was rewriting the past like she had a script. And then came the biggest twist yet. Jason messaged me again. Dude. You're not gonna believe this. She told people you suggested the open marriage. I stared at the screen. She flipped it. She told her friends, her family, even the kids, that I'd come to her with the idea. That I was the one who needed more than just her. That she was hurt, but open-minded. Trying to save the marriage. And when I left? That just proved her story. So now, in the court of public opinion, I'm the cheater. The runaway. The one who left his family for a younger woman in a tropical paradise. No one knows the part where I heard her say, I need more than just him. No one knows she was already planning her exit before I even stepped out the door. And now I've got to fight for my own kids to even see me as something more than the villain in her bedtime story. But here's the part she doesn't know. I recorded that call. The one I heard when I came home early. She didn't know I had my phone on record in my pocket. I captured her whole conversation with whoever was on the other end. The I need more than him line. The way she laughed. The whole vibe. I didn't use it before because I thought walking away was enough. But now I'm loading that recording onto a flash drive. Because I'm going to war. The day I dropped off the flash drive at my lawyer's office, I knew things were going to change. We decided to request an emergency hearing. He submitted the audio recording as evidence and filed a formal response to her claims. That recording? It flipped everything. We didn't tell her in advance. Let her walk into court all smiles and smug confidence, sitting there with her new man in a pressed button-up and polished shoes like he belonged in my place. They sat holding hands. I kept my face stone cold. The judge allowed the audio to be played in the courtroom. Her voice echoed through the speakers. I need more than just him. He's so predictable. I swear, if he found out, he'd just cry or run. He's weak. I need a real man. And then she laughed. That laugh. When it ended, the room was silent. She turned pale. Her lawyer leaned in and whispered something. She didn't blink. Just stared straight ahead like she'd been hit with a brick. The judge cleared his throat. "I'll be reevaluating the credibility of all claims made in this case," he said flatly. I wanted to scream, to jump up and yell, "See?" But I stayed still. Let her stew in it. Outside the courtroom, her boyfriend stormed ahead of her. She tried catching up, calling his name. He spun around. "You told me he cheated. You told me he abandoned you." He wasn't yelling, but everyone could hear. There were reporters outside. Friends. Strangers. "You've been lying to everyone," he said, voice cracking. "What else aren't you telling me?" She tried to pull him aside. He shook his head and walked away. She looked around and locked eyes with me. She walked up slowly. "Was this your plan?" she hissed. "Humiliate me in front of everyone?" "You did that to yourself," I said. I just let the truth out. Back at the hotel, I broke down. I didn't feel victorious. I felt wrecked. Numb. She was supposed to be the love of my life. I defended her for years. I'd built a home with her, a family. I'd sacrificed opportunities, passed up jobs in other states, stayed when I should have left. All for that family. And she dismantled it like it meant nothing. Jason came by later that night with beers and silence. "She fooled all of us," he said quietly. We sat there for hours, just letting it all sit. The kids. That was the hard part. My daughter didn't want to talk at first. She believed the lies. She heard them for weeks without question. But after the hearing, something shifted. She asked to meet me at the park. She showed up with tears already in her eyes. "Why didn't you tell us sooner?" "I didn't want you to hate her," I said. "I didn't want you to be stuck in the middle." She nodded slowly. "I think I hated you for the wrong reasons." We hugged. That one moment was worth all the chaos. My son was colder. Took him longer to even look at me again. But over time, cracks formed in the story she told him too. He saw her moods. Her inconsistencies. The way she cried for show. Eventually, he asked to move in with me part-time. As for her, she lost the boyfriend. Lost credibility in court. She tried to backpedal, filed a motion claiming the recording was manipulated. It didn't work. The judge ruled in my favor on the financial matters. The accounts were unfrozen. My name cleared. She sent me one long email after the final hearing. No apology. Just a list of ways I made her feel small. How I failed to keep the spark alive. It was one last attempt to make herself feel like the victim. I didn't respond. A year has passed now. I moved to Oregon. Quiet town. Smaller house. Simple life. The kids visit often. We're healing. I'm not sure I believe in forever love anymore. But I believe in truth. In self-respect. In second chances, not with her, but with life. I think sometimes we stay too long in broken places because we fear what's on the other side. But sometimes walking away is the only way to save yourself. I still hear her laugh sometimes, in nightmares. But then I wake up, and I remember, I'm free. And for now, that's enough.